For more, let's bring in Acting Attorney General for Donald Trump and Senior Fellow at the American Cornerstone Institute, Matt Whitaker. Matt, great to be with you tonight. Good to see you. Do you think that Hunter Biden ever sees the inside of a jail cell?
There's no way, especially on this charge. You know, these gun charges are most likely not going to bring the most jail time when he is ultimately sentenced. I'm watching this tax case very carefully out in California because I think that's actually a more important case and more significant because it brings in some of the things you were talking about, the Biden corruption and that narrative. But remember, this is the case. All of these cases, they tried to sweep them under the rug. The Department of Justice tried to negotiate a plea agreement with a misdemeanor and a deferred judgment, all for probation and no jail time. And so the fact that Judge Noriega blew that up when she realized that he was going to get prospective criminal immunity was extraordinary. So, Rob, I watched this case, watched this trial, but one point you made early in your monologue was so important. There was no argument over what the jury instruction should be. What he was charged with wasn't a question. It is so different, and there is no equivalency between this case against Hunter Biden and what Donald Trump just went through in New York City.
Yeah, Matt, I want you to put on your political analyst hat, if you could, for me, because I think the White House was caught off guard today. KJP canceled her afternoon press briefing, which would have happened right after the verdict. And then Joe Biden unexpectedly got on a plane and went back to Wilmington, Delaware. Matt, look, I love time off in the summer, too. It's Tuesday. All right, why is he going to Wilmington, Delaware? It's because what happened to his son today. I don't think they were expecting this. What do you think this means for Joe politically and that debate that happens in 16 days?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think he is a little bit rattled by it, I don't know why it would be unexpected. I mean, if they believe so much in the system of justice and the righteous outcomes of juries, then they should have fully expected this because there was no doubt that the violation of the law was there in spades, and so. I don't know. Ultimately, I think this, Joe is probably emotionally affected, but he also just came back from Europe, and I would expect that his, probably at that age, he's probably tired. And that speech today, that was hard to watch because he was not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, again, I don't understand the White House. It's a gun control event. You've got a son who literally just hours before is convicted of illegally owning a firearm, and they force Joe to go to this event like that's going to be a sign of bravery. Back to Hunter and what this judge does in Delaware. Are we looking at like fines and probation? And then I was reading the statute today, and it said anytime over the next 120 days we could see sentencing, that puts us right into the middle of October if the judge waits that long. When does that happen?
Yeah, so there's the pre-sentencing investigation is going to be done, and then there will be a recommendation. And obviously, even though they're only advisory now, there are sentencing guidelines that are still applicable under U.S. law. And what you will see is that formula, because he has no criminal history, and it's the violation I think is fairly low. He's probably looking at 0 to 6 months or a term of probation. I think that's probably what she will give him. But remember, if he's convicted and sentenced for the tax charges, those felonies, he will be a convicted felon, and all of a sudden he is in a different criminal history, and he would have a more significant penalty because of that criminal history.
Okay, does the tax trial ever actually get off the ground?
Yeah, right now it's scheduled for September. I don't have any reason to believe that the special counsel won't continue to press the case. Obviously, from a political standpoint, Merrick Garland just in today's Washington Post claimed that, he's not political, and anybody who says that the Department of Justice is political is, I guess, not telling the truth. But that's just not what we see. We see it with our own eyes. And so if that case moves past the election to try to insulate the Biden family from bad stories about how much money Hunter Biden made, how he didn't register under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, how they laundered money through 20 LLCs, I think that'll tell you everything you know about Merrick Garland and whether you can believe him.